I think Corey's going to show up. I told him to show up. I said, you be here today. We need you. I think
he's teaching or
Saving the
recovering
world. Yeah.
from teaching.
Oof.
Well, sometimes he
doesn't
shows
show
up. He
up.
likes to torture himself and show up.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
you know
he
what?
is the ultimate glutton for punishment.
I haven't had enough.
Enough is never enough.
Wade, where are you? I see you in chat. Why aren't you here?
Wading through the logs.
TikTok. Are we going to talk about TikTok? I don't know. I mean, they should totally be banned.
Yeah.
They're so bad. What is it, like half the country uses TikTok though? So everyone's like, don't take it away from me. I need my TikTok.
I need my
Corey.
tiki-taki.
Yeah.
Oh, the lights are
Wait,
here.
this is, I came in while it was live and it wasn't full. Wow, this is
I know.
shocking.
I know. That's how popular this has become.
Hey, Corey, where's my favorite lights? I'm
This
getting
is
sad
so-
over here.
Oh no!
This is
I've been
where
caught.
all hang out.
No, the lights are off.
Hold on, I gotta download like 50 apps.
You got to re-download the light program,
No,
Yeah.
'cause
the animation program.
Yes, because when you said ban TikTok, I'm like, we're not banning lights too, are we? I was having
Yeah.
a moment here. Those lights are amazing.
That's what like Home Assistant literally is for, because there's like 9,000 home automation apps. Are like, we can just work with them all. Like, screw this crap, you know.
Let's go.
I mean, you
Yes.
say that, but that's not actually how it works.
It is how it works. I have
Really?
it.
Because
I got it.
according to Z-Wave, there's just a permanent leak in my washing machine that I can't turn off. And Home Assistant's like, I can't help you. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sounds like stored cross-site scripting to me with the reference.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah, a bit flipped, and now it's just permanently leak.
It's just permanent.
Leak, true.
I was gonna go look up what the stories were.
As long as it's only a virtual leak and not an actual water leak.
Mm.
Well, that's what the
Well,
whole
I'll never know.
sensor's
How would I
for.
know? The sensor
Right.
says there's a water leak, but then
Yeah.
I go up into. I mean, I guess
Maybe
Schrodinger's
the
leak.
water on the floor or the back mold.
I
don't
mean,
know.
but that's not how that isn't automated. That's manual. That's me manually checking the leak,
I've
which I already
installed the
do
mold
just
farm.
permanently. Like in my house, I'm always checking for leaks. Like I'm just like looking around, being like, "Is there water on the floor? Did a cat pee? What is going on?"
Right. Cat pee. Oh, man.
Let's play cat or appliance.
You pick.
And the cats love to go behind the washer too. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
They have found the litter box.
so okay, are we doing the news?
No.
We're gonna
We
talk
will
about the
eventually.
news?
Corey, do you
Okay.
want to host? Because Florida man over here, Ralph, is under strep throat.
Yeah.
Advisory.
I got you. If no one
Under
else wants to do it, I
strep
got
throat
you.
advisory. It's a
I'm
storm
not
of brewing.
qualified. I just work here, man.
And
Alright.
sing.
I mean, okay, yeah. Send it.
Corey's going to
Roll
take
the
it.
finger.
All right, let's
John
do
will
this.
show up too. Mood ring John will show up. Don't worry.
Mood ring or dog?
I've always loved clowns. Clowns bring me so much joy.
There he is. There's our John.
Yes.
All right, now the video. Now the video. He showed up. I mean, we can say he officially showed up. It wasn't. It was dark, John, but he was here.
We should have
It's
something
like a
at
correspondent
Wild
on
West.
the news.
We should have something at Wild West Hacking Fest where a whole bunch of us show up in clown costumes.
We already have that. It's called "Get Shot by John at His House."
Oh, my.
That got dark fast, really.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't say
yeah.
go to
Rubber
his
bullets.
house.
He uses
I-
a paintball
Wild
gun
West
or rubber
Hacking Fest
bullets.
where there's people around.
Oh, God.
It's in the BHIS handbook, non-lethal clown protections. It's section 7.2. Have you not read it?
Jeez.
I
Yeah,
have.
I just
Yeah.
read that part.
I always read that part.
You got to check that part because it's the non-lethal
CJ hasn't
part.
gone over that in the meeting yet under training.
All right, roll the finger. Yeah, it's undocumented. If they bring it up, then it's a problem.
All right, here we go.
Roll it.
Roll that beautiful.
Welcome to Black Hills Information Security, talking about the news. Today is March 27th, 2023, and I'm here instead of John, and I apologize.
Good job.
But I have people with me. It's not just me, luckily. We have Ryan, we have Bronwyn, we have Cameron, we have Mike, we have BSD Bandit, a.k.a. Yip. And we have Florida Man who has strep throat but has showed up anyway. I mean, that's truthfully, like, that's dedication.
You can't miss a show. Or
don't underestimate Florida Man.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Nope.
The strep throat actually makes him stronger.
That's right.
Hey,
That
Just
just
like he's
does
had-
not kill us.
It's like kind of like the COVID boosters, but it just keeps getting strep throat. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about North Korean hackers, as always. That's every week. We're going to talk about breach sites being shutting down. We're going to talk about Rip Gordon Moore, his law, still kind of true, still kind of not. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, apparently we're going to talk about the Pope in a puffer jacket.
Are we going to talk only about how he was dressed?
Incident.
Or
I guess we're going to talk about how John loves clowns, too, because we already talked about that.
Another breach forum shutting down. I think we kind of talked about that a little bit.
So, yeah, basically this story, if you weren't paying attention, was the BreachForums operator, or I guess admin, got FBI raided. And I read the entire court document this morning. Is very interesting.
Wow.
And basically, how did they find him? Various techniques, including he used his real IP address to access raid forums, which is the previous version of that. And basically, this is causing a lot of fallout. The admins of the site, BreachForums, decided to shut it down because they have the database, right? So... if anyone wants the court documents, I've got them from some sketchy Telegram that I'm in, so I wouldn't. I'll send them to you in an executable format. Just kidding.
PDF.
But yeah, basically this is interesting. Not that interesting. These sites are kind of. I see them. One of the interesting things, and this is my perspective, is there's going to be another one. You know, there's going to be another one. It's like the Pirate Bay or something. You can shut like 5 of them down, and there's going to be 5 more next week. So that's my opinion, at least.
Kaza continues.
They're like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them. So you kill 50, and 29 million come back.
Yeah,
with a vengeance.
And by the way, one of the interesting things from the court documents that I read is that he was making about $1,000 a day from this site.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's I don't know, $1,000 a day times $30,000. I mean, that's a lot of server bills. That's like profit, or that's revenue, not profit. So who knows, like how much the server bills.
$1,000 a day, 365 days in a year. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you kind of, when you really do the math, you're like, okay, so let's say he made like 500 grand. That's very optimistic. That is like not that high when you factor in the value of your future career, right? Like, even if you're making 100 grand a year, you could balance that out in 5 years of not being in jail.
Well,
career. What about life?
Yeah,
right.
Every criminal.
How many opportunities have just gone away from having become, he did the crime. Now he's got to do the time.
I don't think the charges are that heavy. I don't think the charges are particularly gnarly. It's like distribute data device or hacking devices or things like that. Like basically you can't, there's laws against distributing like valid credentials and things. The news article is the indictment or whatever, court documents or whatever are pretty clear. Like I think he's kind of screwed. He also apparently admitted to some of this stuff, like when they contacted, so he's already admitted to this. So I think he's just like, yeah, it's on.
So basically,
it's pretty much done.
Yeah, if he confessed, he's toast.
I think he confessed. Done. Which, I mean, to be fair, based on the evidence the FBI had, he was screwed anyway.
He had no choice. Yeah, he really had no choice.
Take the plea.
I'll take the document to executable format. I mean,
Yeah, from my perspective as an incident or OSINT person, I mean, I need this data to keep people safe from it. Like, not that I'm going out and buying the most expensive, this is Neopets for $50K. I'm not spending that kind of money, but ultimately defense people need access to this so they can invalidate the data, right? And you got to know if you're leaked. If it's a closed forum, then who knows?
Then, yeah.
Should have used more.
Should have used more.
So it's actually okay. This brings up an interesting point, because if you read through the court documents, he actually did use NordVPN, and they had to kind of not specifically NordVPN. He used
this is not sponsored or advertised by NordVPN.
But yeah, we're sponsored by other things that are not NordVPN. But basically, here's what they did, and this is going to shock you. They were able to correlate this device using NordVPN, and then also using NordVPN with the same IP to access his personal Gmail and his iPhone, his Apple account, and Netflix, and all these other.
How did they get that information? Yes. Oh, they subpoenaed it.
They basically what you need to know from a legal perspective is that you might not be able to say this IP address, which is a NordVPN IP address, is owned by this person who you're charging. But what you can say is they also used this IP address to access their personal Gmail, their personal, that stuff that is tied to them. So basically, it's not like you can pull the IPs and correlate based on that. So it's But
is this a case of correlation, not causation?
The courts will decide. The courts will decide that. But based on the legal proceedings, I don't think he's getting out of that one.
No, he's not. He didn't read the fine print. He is done. I'm sorry.
I don't think he'll go to jail for that long. He's young, and it's not, at least in my perspective, the grand scheme of things, distributing. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I think the max sentence is like 10 years. So it's not like brutal.
I'm sorry. One day is brutal.
I mean, you have a point.
One day is brutal. You see these.
You have a point, but aren't you surprised they're not just like life in prison? He's a cyber criminal.
No, put him away. He can never be free.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. Even if they throw the book at him, 10 years max. Like, you could restart your life. It's sad. I mean, it's sad to imagine, but he probably won't get the max. Like, and if you listen to Darknet Diaries, there are many cyber criminals. Wade was talking last week about how in the UK they have a special program where, like, if you're a minor, your record's anonymous. Like, you can actually enter the society after because your name isn't disclosed. Unlike this guy whose name is all over the internet.
Right.
But basically,
he could pull a Kevin Mitnick and become a security consultant.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like, I don't know. I do kind of feel for him on some level, because I don't think he was particularly egregious about what he was doing. It's like, he wasn't like, he didn't try to, like, if we're thinking like Silk Road, he wasn't like trying to put hits on people. He wasn't like, at least not that we know of. He
wasn't encouraging swatting or anything like that.
No, he was like actually just running this site, which happens to be dealing in illegal and stolen data. But from his perspective, he's just fulfilling a need that the industry has, which is to have someone run the site. Like, he ran a middleman service, and they actually charge him with that, meaning you have hacked data, you're willing to sell it, but you don't trust the person you're selling it to, or the person buying it doesn't trust you. It's like so he would serve as a middleman, and he actually didn't charge a fee for that. So like, he literally
real estate agents.
How nice of him. Yeah.
He's better than real estate. They charge like 2.5%.
Yeah, dude, way more.
Better than real estate. But still, I mean, doing something illegal, I think it comes down to he's young, he's not thinking through what he's actually doing.
So I have a cybercrime story to follow up with this one. And I started this one out kind of before we went on air, and everyone said stop telling the story. So my wife's dad told me that he got scammed this weekend, and I was like, okay, how'd you get scammed? He goes, he was looking for the phone number for YouTube TV so that he could get a deal. All right, and if you don't know, YouTube TV doesn't have a phone number, so I'm probably already describing his age at this point, but he was looking on Google.
Which, by the way, that is a weird concept if you think about it, right? Like, if you think about the concept of like, oh yeah, we don't have a phone number.
Yes, I know. So he wanted to call them to get the, like introductory special they have for YouTube TV, right? So he did a Google search, and this comes down to a lot of different cyber crime tactics that are going on here. So what happened is that in the search results, he got a result for, hey, call this number for YouTube TV, right? Now, what this is it's a targeted advertisement, right?
Yeah,
that
it's
cyber criminals will insert. And I won't see that advertisement, okay?
Because you block ads.
No, because I'm not old enough. You can target age groups. Seriously, because I thought that, oh, yeah, like it must be in the list here. And on his phone it was, and on my phone it wasn't, right? So the same search, the same website. Anyways, so he calls this number up that he thinks is YouTube. It's not YouTube, okay? He said his first indicator that something might be suspicious is that they had an Indian accent, whatever.
But he's trying not to be judgmental.
Yes,
so
it's common for these scams to happen in India if you're not aware, right? So anyways, he asked for this deal, the introductory deal. They're like, oh yeah, no, don't worry. We can take care of this for you, right? And so this is where it gets interesting. And I didn't really realize this, and there's probably more YouTube videos that talk about this. But this is where the scam gets interesting, okay? So what they did is they told him to open up his iPhone, right? And to go into your apps, right, on your iPhone. And inside there, inside the app store, you can buy a gift card, okay? And inside there, you can buy a gift card and you can send it to an email address, right? And so what they asked him to do was to enter in his email address, okay, and send the money to him. And then they told him on the amount to put and to put $500. And I guess I'm not sure why he wasn't totally thrown off by this, but it gets interesting. So he ends up sending or purchasing the gift card, okay? So this is totally legitimate. This is, buying a gift card directly from Apple, and you get a email that comes back to you as the gift card. Since you send it to yourself, right? There's a little code at the bottom to redeem it. There's also a little link that you can click to redeem the gift card, right? And they asked him to take a screenshot and send it to him, right? Send it to them. Now, he says that at that point, he realized that this was a scam. So he was like, no, hell no, I'm not doing this. And he hangs up the phone, okay? Of course, they call right back, and he's like, no way. Hangs up the phone. Now, I'm not sure where this went, and I did a bunch of investigating to try to figure out how they did this. But the long story short is he never read the code to them, and he tells me he never sent them a screenshot. But they got the code and spent all of the money. Now, what makes this scam wild is because he bought the gift card in his name to his email, right? When he goes to the Apple and says, hey, I got scammed, they're like, of course you got scammed. I want my $500 back. Right? Does that make sense?
You can't prove that you didn't just spend it on
prove.
Candy Crush Saga.
The same with the bank too. The bank's like, well, we're going to investigate this. How did it happen? So after thinking about it a little bit, I came up with two possible solutions. All right. Number one is they got into his email. All right. He has a Gmail.
Stuffed.
Yeah. And he doesn't have two-factor. Now, I checked and I couldn't find his password on the internet. Okay. I looked and, I didn't do a crazy search, but, let's assume that these scammers aren't that great. Okay. And then the second possibility was, he read it to them or something. He doesn't recall, that part of the story or whatever. But yes, wild. Okay. So the moral of this story, if anyone ever asks you to buy a gift card in any kind of phone transaction, no, this is scammers' delight. Gift cards are incredibly difficult to track, and both banks and Apple will not do anything for you. They do not want to talk to you about this. Once it's a gift card, it is gone. Okay.
Which is accurate for giving gift cards to people as well, because once you give someone a gift card, it sits in their pocket for 3 years until I'm like, I've been to Starbucks like 14 times since I got the Starbucks gift card, and I've never used it. Like, why?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of a fun scam story. Not for him. He's out the $500, and nobody really wants to talk to him.
No,
but
he paid $500 for cybersecurity awareness training.
yes, it's cybersecurity awareness. But
So we do that? Should we just start scamming people and say it's cybersecurity awareness training? No, probably not. Okay.
yeah, it's interesting.
I think that's a little different from an internal fish.
Is it? My
So,
goodness.
Florida man, here's a question for you.
What's up?
Would you recommend changing your age profile on Google Ads as a defense mechanism so that you don't get hit by these sorts of scams?
Yes. Put yourself as under 13, then you're not
Under
even legally
13,
allowed to
yes,
use
and
the
then they're
internet.
not legally allowed to send you those, right?
To
No.
the span.
I mean,
I'm wondering.
this is a real problem in cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
And something that I really noticed when I started thinking about this scenario, right? First, older generations just don't know about this stuff, and even younger generations fall for these scams too, right? So and it comes down to, password hygiene, overall just like understanding, that like Corey brought up, it's weird to not have a phone number, right? That like some of this stuff doesn't exist, and how to validate people, and that the scam market out there is huge, and they're looking for any way possible to scam you, however it can work, right?
It's also taking advantage of what we tell people to do, which is don't go to the website, Google it. Like that's actually what we tell people, but then we need to also tell people to make sure they don't look at the ads or to use an ad blocker, because we know that ads and malware are just together, and also the gift card thing.
Yes. Yeah. So
well,
anyways,
that sucks. But at least he got cybersecurity awareness training that he didn't ask for or need.
So the only thing that
he needed it. He just didn't ask for it.
I could not figure out how they got the code though. I kept thinking that they sent a fake email or that he went to a website. He either read it, right?
Either read the code or they got it from the screenshot that he took.
I think they got it from the screenshot. I think the latter. Probably got it from the screenshot.
Maybe they got access to his computer. I don't know.
We're starting to push this. I
thought he called them. He didn't. It wasn't VoIP.
Yes. So
it was like landline call.
Here's the last little piece I'll put in here for possibly the mystery to the puzzle, right? Is that after he had this $500 gift card, he was like, "Oh crap! Like, what am I going to do?" So he called Apple. Right now, Apple does have a number, right? But maybe he went the same route and just
this was another scam.
Oh shit!
Oh
man!
Oh no!
Oh man! That's possibly what happened. Some other scammers got it. Some other scammer. One person put in all the work to get the gift card, and then some other scammer's like, "Hello, yes, this is Apple. You're having issue."
If this is not a scammer chain.
I think you're right, dude. I honestly, okay, so you looked at the access logs in Gmail and you didn't see any unauthorized access, correct?
No, there was I didn't see any unauthorized access, and the emails that were sent it was legitimately a gift card from Apple.
Okay.
There was nothing weird.
So that means that you are right, and that whoever he called social engineered him and was also a scammer.
So he got double scammed. That's my guess.
He got double scammed. And what are the chances that it's the guy sitting next to the first guy? He's like,
he got double scammed. He got double scammed, but only one scammer walked away with the gold.
What it was also funny is they left $1 on the gift card.
Oh man, that's like leaving.
So what is he gonna buy? Should he buy a ad blocker for $1 on the App Store?
I don't know.
That would be a worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
Or
anyway,
similar
that's
to
a good
the
one.
Yep.
North Korean hacker story we have, they might have had an app on his phone that was already reading his emails.
So the title of the article is
using
North
Google Chrome.
North Korean hackers using Google Chrome extensions to steal Gmail emails. That's a shocker. So this is a joint cybersecurity advisory from the German Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, which has such a long acronym, but apparently it shortens down to BFV, and the National Intelligence Service of the Republic of Korea, NIS, which I assume Republic of Korea is South Korea, right? Not like They're not like, hey, watch out for us. Warn about Kimsuki's, which is one of the APT groups, use of Chrome extensions to steal target Gmail emails. So they're a threat group. They use spear phishing. I guess this is interesting. The extension is named AF and can only be seen in the extensions list if the user enters Chrome Edge Brave extensions. Wow, interesting. So they have a way to actually hide. They have a way to hide the extension
which one you're
from the
on.
user.
So if you're on Chrome, you just type Chrome extensions. If you're on Edge, it would just be Edge.
Oh, is that true, or do you have to type them all on every browser?
No, so like if you try it on your own browser right now, it should just be working. I don't think it works on all three.
They do make it kind of hard to see the browser extensions, but basically this attack is something we've actually investigated for our own personal usage. It's pretty common. You basically install the DevTools, use the DevTools API to, then they have a relay server like a C2. They're stealing. The interesting thing is that they can get access to the emails, right? So this is like where you realize that the browser security model is terrible. It's absolutely full of holes. And the fact that a browser extension can just read your emails, I mean, the user, I assume, would have to approve the add-in, right?
I really, really need to do that talk on all web browsers are evil. I've been threatening to do it for years. I really just need to break down and do it. Because they are.
It is
all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like this came out also while we're talking about info stealers a lot, and I have my blog out about info stealers because like the fact that like your browser just leaves your cookies relatively unprotected because there's no other way that the internet works. Like it's kind of like a lot of things where it wasn't really built for security from the start. It was just like
it
was built for the user experience. It was built for the user experience, and the user experience requires I never want to log in to YouTube or any site once I've logged in once. So
well, and as someone who remembers the days before cookies, which is a really scary thing to say, I mean,
but you didn't need them.
You didn't need cookies.
Well,
a lot of things didn't even have logins back then.
I know.
We needed some,
right.
We needed some, because of course HTTP was initially stateless. And of course, if you're going to do the whole e-commerce thing with putting things in shopping carts and to avoid having to log in again and again, you have to establish persistence. And cookies were developed. And I remember there was this one website, and I'd have to go to the Wayback Machine to try and find it. And it laid out, I mean, we're talking pre-Y2K. Pre-Y2K, people knew that cookies were going to be a bad deal and that they were going to be a huge evil thing. And the website even said the dark side of cookies. And it was amazing. And all of the worst predictions that this one website had, again, this is pre-2000. They've been exceeded.
Not the
all of
for hackers.
No, I remember that article, and it was very eye-opening, and it was a lot of people pewed it, sort of said, "Nah, this won't happen." I mean, it's like with everything else. There's good sides and bad sides to everything. This technology won't be used for that. The internet's never going to get that big that it's going to wind up being like that. We're all one big happy family at this point in time. And boy, was that article dead on.
Yeah, but
we need to find that article, Bronwyn. Get on that.
Yeah.
Well, this goes back to the.
It was more than just a single article. It was an entire domain. It was an entire website that was.
I'd love to see it. I love looking at old predictions and then seeing what actually came true and what didn't.
Yeah,
it's like a time capsule, but for the internet.
Yeah, that was. I'm sitting here reading it and I'm going, those are actually some really good points. And like I say, every single prediction has been exceeded, especially now we've got super cookies, because even if they're not detecting the cookie itself, they're also now reading what you have as far as your bookmarks and using that as a means of fingerprinting.
So the other side of it is like what we can do to actually prevent this. They talked about this in the Linus stuff with the LTT hack, right? So we're talking, but specifically about session about using session cookies, right? How can we make this better, right? Or like, what are some of some of these security controls already exist, right? But some sites just don't care, right? Like, Facebook doesn't ever want to log you out ever, because
For
Right.
user
you might have to type your
experience.
password.
They'd rather take the hit
Oh.
on security
Yeah.
and prevent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mark
And even
Zuckerberg's
more,
proven
they
that.
want you to log into other services with
Yes.
their login.
Yes, exactly. So,
Right.
but what
Like,
can we
that's not a
do to
security
make it
hazard.
better, though? Like what implementate or kind of security controls? I mean, first of all, for more privileged access, there should be some kind of asking for a password or other items like that, right?
Additional validation.
Additional
when you do
validation
certain-
for
Yes.
certain kinds of functions should
and
be
detection
implemented.
of browser sessions, by the way,
Yes.
which
Yes.
all the good providers do. And this is actually falls part of it. Yes, part of it falls on the provider.
Yep.
Require authentication for, like, if I'm enabling additional factors or if I'm
Yep.
changing account parameters. Like, you can just change the name of a YouTube channel without any additional validation.
Yeah.
That's not good. You can delete videos without typing in. Like, it's session management. It's like a web app thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, bringing users into the awareness of how much their browser cookies have value and how much people are going after them specifically. Because passwords are great, cookies are better. That is what people need to start realizing. We think about passwords all the time. Oh, are my passwords leaked? Are my, is my password breached on a website? If I've got your cookies, I don't care what your password is. And I don't care about MFA. I don't care about, like, there's so many things that you just slip right past security controls if they don't have great session detection, like new device detection, which a lot of places don't.
Conditional access is the other thing too, right? So having privileged access to certain sections or certain like tasks
Right.
inside of your web application. The second one is conditional access. If I'm logged in here, the mysterious travel between two distinct countries, just ask for my password again. You don't even have to stop it. Just be like, hey, you're gonna have to log in again because you're coming from Korea now or wherever, and you were just logged in Colorado. Right?
Yes,
That's not a
and this
hard
is
rule to
exactly
make.
But the thing is, this is where it gets into like the behind the curtain of a business decision, which is two things. First of all, YouTube, for them or Google or whoever making these additional controls is code that they have to pay to write that doesn't make them any money in the grand scheme of things. Like, this is not revenue generating to introduce browser session detection, new device detection, additional access controls. None of this stuff makes them any money. It's just like a requirement to do business. Obviously, now we're seeing some bigger creators. Lots of creators are getting hit by this.
Yeah.
Big creators, medium-sized creators, even small creators are getting hit by the same exact attack. This isn't the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last time it happened. So,
well, outside of creators, and to go to this article, just attacking sessions or cookies, your browser, right?
Exactly.
That's a new surface that opens up a lot of other attack avenues,
and
as
people
opposed
need to be
the
aware.
endpoint.
Yeah. People need to be aware, and it's one of those things. I've personally, a lot of people have been trying to like raise awareness of this issue for years, and it hasn't gotten a lot of traction. So hopefully we can just continue to push. The general user population needs to be aware of the value of their cookies is higher than the value of their passwords, especially in a world with MFA. I don't care what your passwords are. I want your cookies.
Yeah.
So it's which is a crazy thing to say because, passwords have been king for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Cookies are life. It's no different.
Cookies
Hey,
are life.
cookies are life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
I guess next we should probably run through. There's some sad news of a few people have passed away that are noteworthy. Apparently, Gordon Moore being the first one that I'm aware of. If you don't know what Moore's law is, then I don't really know if you're computer adjacent or not. But
What's Moore's law? Haven't heard about it.
Moore's law is that every 2 years I get twice as stupid. Wait, no.
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 Is it that
No,
people
no,
get
no, no,
stupider
no.
over the count of semiconductors goes down? No, Moore's law is like basically a law that is, at the end of the day, whether it's true or not is some mathematician's problem, not mine, but essentially says that processes are going to get sequentially faster and faster and faster over time, which has generally played out. It actually, the law specifically talks more about like transistors per inch or something, but yeah, he passed away, and then
Yeah.
Wasn't it in the 60s or yeah, it was in 1965 that he made the prediction. So
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
did
very-
pan out.
yeah.
It panned out for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like people argue now whether it's still true or not. I think it roughly is. Like if you really
Yeah,
follow
oh,
the
yeah.
general trend line, it still is. But so anyway,
Yeah,
he passed away, and then there's another one. I'm not familiar with this person, but someone named Kelly
Aloria
Aloria.
Lum.
Aloria.
Yep.
Super sad,
I'd
young.
never heard of her,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Very sad. Not great topic for the news, but if they're newsworthy, I guess rest in peace, Gordon Moore and Aloria.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
about
just-
resting in pieces, Twitter.
the dumpster fire that keeps on burning.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So they're
Scandal.
saying their source code got leaked. I assume this
Again.
was- is this intentional? Did Elon do it?
Elon leaked it. So
I don't
that
think
he could-
Elon could.
He doesn't
I
have
think
Git
Elon
access.
could.
No, it was leaked. He shouldn't have
Doesn't
Git
have full-
access.
He doesn't have pull power.
From
Yeah.
what I can tell, he's got Git access. but-
Oh God, I guess it was leaked code taken down by sending a copyright infringement notice to GitHub.
So the question is, how did it get leaked? I guess someone found it.
It's unclear. Yeah.
That just means they haven't tracked the guy's IP address yet.
Twitter sale 50% off.
Wait, no. It says that it had been public. It was.
Yeah, it was on. But the question is, who was it? Intentional
Yeah,
data exposure,
yeah.
or was it like someone
I think
actually
it was
did it
intentional.
accidentally?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
all
think
I'm going to
somebody
say is, if Elon
intentional.
says quit or be sleeping in your office, I might just accidentally hit git commit on some code. Whoops. Oh
Oops.
no.
The other news thing that Twitter is getting rid of the blue check mark, like officially, if you
don't pay.
If you don't pay, right? And why does that matter from a security standpoint? Obviously, the scammers are just drooling to get the opportunity to, all these people who are going to lose their blue check mark, and they could be so and so, and now.
Oh, it's
Bitcoin.
even better than that, though. It's even better than that. If you have the blue check mark, you can hide it. I don't know why.
What?
I know. No, they're bringing out something where if you have the blue check mark and you bought it, you can hide it.
Why would you want to hide it?
I
Right.
don't
Now,
know.
yeah.
You want people
Wait.
to think you're just a nobody when you're really like Brad
Somebody.
Pitt. Like
So,
I,
How
so you
about
don't
this,
out
right?
yourself as an Elon fan.
So here's what's interesting, right? It's a sad day when we're worried about a blue check mark, right? And I just look at it from a standpoint. It really is. It's a sad day when we're just worried about a blue check mark, and it's just making people think they're more important than what they really are.
Mm.
well, not
that's
anymore
my-
because I have
Right.
$8, so that means I'm important.
So what I think is funny is the blue checkmark came out to distinguish the legitimate person versus the the scammer.
Correct.
and
It was an
everyone else.
identity access
was an
verification thing.
That was it, right? And then obviously it turned into a big thing where if you got a check mark, you were obviously notable and famous and blah blah blah. In some cases they definitely were, but really it was just meant to be like, hey, this is the actual person and not just someone pretending to be that person.
I can't believe
It was
that,
a trust mark.
social media acquired by an insane billionaire is turning into a disaster and is going to be used for disinformation and scams.
It's
Going
such
to
a
be
wild
used?
scene.
I was going to say,
Going
going
to
to
be
be.
used? What's this
Twitter was
going to
probably
be?
one of the safer places to be, and now it's probably not anymore.
It was Was
the internet ever really safe?
Yeah, I don't feel safe online.
I mean, I
remember when it was
mean,
safe
at
to
least
be
they would say
online.
like this comment is really the president versus like Donald Trump official, and it just has a blue check mark and he's tweeting links to
Oh.
Bitcoin. Like, but then he
Well, yeah.
actually, I don't know.
All social media is the problem.
It's all.
I would argue that
Uh-oh.
that's not actually the problem. The problem is that we have no data
People.
privacy laws whatsoever, and social media just takes advantage of that.
Wade, he made it.
Wade has arrived. Wade's late. He's in the time zone.
Hey!
Come in right during DLP.
Come
Perfect
on in,
timing.
Come on in, Wade.
All right. So now that Wade's here, we can finally discuss an image of the Pope in a puffer jacket.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, I totally fell for it. I thought that was real. I thought it was
Your
real.
opinion about his puffer jacket.
So, okay, does anyone actually know, like, why is this newsworthy other than being, like, sick? But, like, outside of that, like, is it like AI scary?
Yeah, well, this
people-
comes back to the
Robot
AI.
generated Pope.
No, the
Nope.
AI pictures of Trump getting arrested that were spreading like wildfire on the internet
Mm-hmm.
the other week. So yeah,
This
and then
is
people are like, "Oh, this is happening." You know, it's just
one step closer to Futurama Pope. You know, like that's all this is. And
By the way, regardless of your political opinion, watching those photos are pretty funny.
They're
It is
hilarious.
hilarious.
The ones
It
the
is
ones of the
hilarious.
Pope are
I love
amazing.
it.
He's got like the big like $1 million gem crucifix. Like,
oh man, that man is. Look at that. He is dipped. He is.
He
dipped.
is.
Dude.
He actually like it's
Look how
amazing. And
legit
there's
it is.
more
Fresh to
too. There's more.
There's
He's got like the
more.
what is
That's
that, like a
not
water
Journey,
bottle?
they got the hands right.
oh yeah, I don't know that left hand looks a little weird.
Yeah,
I was gonna
That's
say,
true.
he-
That's true.
Also, what's he holding? Because it looks like a half a water bottle, half of a JPEG.
Dude,
My wife has one of those. It's like it's the cup that also has the blender in it. You know, like
What the
Oh,
Pope's
yeah.
like? He's doing like lean protein.
he's
over
juice
here?
he's juicing.
Oh, he's
juicing.
juicing.
Juiced up. and put some white Corsair headphones on him. Oh man, he's legit. Look
Whoa,
at that.
whoa! He's not sponsored.
No,
all right?
no.
This is someone. So one of the Reddit comments was like Vatican X Balenciaga.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Not
So-
Vatican X.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm done.
I basically think like where we're at now is no one can say like, okay, honestly though, is there any way to tell whether this is real? Like, did this actually happen? I know that in this case, someone just said I made this on Midjourney, but like, is there forensically or otherwise a way? Like, if we're sitting in court and the Pope's getting sued for defamation because he wore Balenciaga, is there a way to like actually say like, is this AI generated? Yes or no? Is there some expert that's like, I'm a Photoshop expert and I could tell you this is real or whatever.
I mean,
Right click,
I'm
look
sure
at
that
properties.
There has to be something in terms of how the algorithm generates it. I mean, when you get down into the low level of especially JPEGs and other images, I'm sure that there's got to be
Always, I'm
artifacts that can be ID'd.
Yeah.
yeah, I
This
think
goes
they're
back
watermarking
to
stuff,
like trying to identify ChatGPT essays, right? Like
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna
Uh-oh.
be like
They
if
wrote
we
an
look
AI for that,
Hey,
then that
you
didn't
know-
work.
Did they?
It-
Oh no, I'm
it
gonna have to
can
go
use-
rewrite some things. I'll be right back.
It did, I mean, they did it.
Use language recognition to ID J.K. Rowling when she writes under a different name. Then
This
Or
is what
maybe
she
they're
did.
just
there are
identifying
ways.
random teenagers trying to act like I don't know. Like it could be, but it could also not be. Like
It's a-
You throw it into Grammarly. Grammarly changes some stuff. You're fine, right? You could throw one of
There you
these
go.
image into Photoshop, change the color gradient a little bit. No one would know the difference. You would be
I
fine.
think it's basically going to come down to like the value of this kind of stuff that can be generated by AI, whatever the thing is, it goes down significantly. Like in the 1950s, if you had a picture like this, 100% of people would say, is this real? Yes. Because back then it would have been basically impossible to get anywhere near faking a picture of the Pope wearing like a silk
Right.
puffer jacket, right? Now, like 90s, probably maybe 90% of people would have said, yeah, it seems legit. Early 2000s, we started having Photoshop where people, you know,
Yep.
we had Nick Cage with the bird hair. Like there were some
Yep.
early Photoshops where things were getting pretty intense. Now we just
And
have
if you-
AI. So like now it's
Right.
like, I feel like no one, any image, it doesn't matter what it is. I could take an image of you
Don't
like
even
right in front of
believe it.
you
Yep.
and then ask you, is this really you? Is this real? Honestly, and you could argue on lots of phones. We didn't talk about this article, but I guess I'm bringing it in. The Samsung Moon debacle. Has anyone followed this?
No. What happened?
So, okay.
I wanted to ask one question. Have you ever seen the Ncage app? This is going for a complete tangent.
No.
Go Google Chrome and look up Ncage. All right. That's
Oh
it.
no!
Go back.
Is this the one that changes all images to
Yeah.
replace Google?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Ugh.
No, so the
Yeah.
Samsung thing I'm talking about, and Ryan, you can probably find a link. So Samsung had basically, they kind of got exposed because they had an algorithm that said, if there's a black background and a white circle in the middle, assume it's the moon and just basically make an image of the moon that looks really good, basically. So like there's videos and stuff, but basically if you take a light bulb, put it in a black background, zoom in on it, Samsung will give you this there you go. It'll give you this insanely high resolution image of the moon, right? So like you could literally take your phone, zoom in on the moon, take a picture of it, and the image that you get would not be real. Like it would basically be fake. Like it's a copy essentially made by the AI for various reasons, and it's pretty cool, but it's also pretty scary. So I guess what I'm saying is, even if you take a picture on your phone, is it really the picture that you actually took? Like maybe not.
Yeah, you could go with the Google erase function too, right? Erasing stuff out of the. Have you used that at all?
Or like Facetune, or
like
oh yeah.
Look at Snapchat filters or Snapchat. Look
Snapchat
at TikTok
filters,
right?
Yeah.
But
this is
the
native
phone where you can actually pull people out of images.
Yeah, the Google has that where you can just straight pull them out.
But it's like this is native example. Like this is the camera app. This isn't like basically if you had the Samsung device and you didn't know where the settings were to turn this off, it's like, which it is a setting you can turn off, you would have no way of knowing that the images you're taking are AI generated. It's
when you're clicking the shutter and you're not actively saying put a filter on this, because you don't know that you're doing this, but
Correct.
The camera could be doing it for you. That's the controversy.
Yeah. And what it was in the Samsung app is basically in the settings, there's just a general setting in the camera app that says use AI to enhance photos. Who wouldn't enable that? You're assuming it's like adjusting the lighting and making your cat look that much prettier. What it's actually doing is just completely replacing the moon with the picture they found. So. Anyway.
Okay.
What's next? Anyone got some spicy articles they want to talk about?
Super spicy. Oh, they not to loop back around, and this one wasn't in here, but it should have been. There's a old MacStealer that's out. That's just been put out in one of the forums.
Wait, there's no malware for Mac.
I know. Isn't that the wild part, right?
You're a PC. I'm a Mac.
I'm a PC. You're
a Mac. I'm a PC. Wait.
No. Anyways, so same thing. It's a malware. It's a stealer for the macOS, and it takes your passwords from your what do you call it? Keychain. Right, so
iCloud keychain.
Oh yeah, give me all that goodies. There's actually a picture in the article here of the so it posts the data to a Telegram with like what the IP is, the host name, and what kind of goodies are on there. It looks for Bitcoin wallets, all the other fun stuff. So yeah,
I think I might have to spin up a Mac VM and see what it actually looks like, because knowing Apple, there's probably like 50 different boxes you have to click allow to get this to actually run.
You'd be surprised.
Like it's probably like, this is from an unverified source. Okay, then you have to go in security settings. You have to click approve. Then it's probably like,
this is true.
Then it's probably like, this app wants access to your iCloud keychain, and you have to be like approve.
But this is true.
I'm gonna have to give it a shot.
Now, is this different from whatever was used at the Pwn to Own on macOS?
I'm pretty sure Pwn to Own was a 0 day, because that's pretty much
Pwn to Own's usually 0 days.
All 0 days, yeah.
So
that's why they show up.
So this is Pwn to Own. This is the basically, I would say, the premier 0 day conference. That's what I would call it. There's I think the original one. Where's the original? Is it China?
I don't know.
DEF CON?
No.
Like
no.
OG.
Pwn to Own's like its own. Anyway, this is Pwn to Own Vancouver 2023, which happened recently. Let's see, was there a Mac exploit? I'm looking through the list of exploits. There's quite a few.
They said Tesla, Ubuntu, and Mac OS.
I think Tesla. There was a
Tesla was the reward. Tesla, like you win a Tesla.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
is that
no,
really
I thought
a win?
they actually hacked the car.
No, I think
did they hack the car and then get to take it home?
They hacked the car and then got a car just for hacking the car.
Here,
I think that's actually what
car,
happened.
and we're going to give you the car you just hacked.
I think that's actually what happened.
Today.
Yeah, Adobe Reader was exploited. SharePoint was exploited. Time of check to time to use was the exploit against the Tesla.
And a Tesla Model 3.
VirtualBox was hacked. Windows 11 was hacked.
0-day vulnerability, escalate privileges on macOS, 40 grand. The Tesla got him 100 grand.
It was a Safari exploit for the macOS.
I really feel like I should send a condolence bouquet or something to my old boss who insisted that, oh, we don't need antivirus software on our Macs in the company. No, Macs never get viruses.
They're impenetrable.
Pwn to own. So Ben from KC has an interesting point here, which we may have overlooked. Isn't that what pwn to own is called? Pwn to own? Isn't that how it works?
You pwn it, you own it.
But okay, so Ben from KC, I would respond to you with this. First of all, I'm an idiot, and I apologize for not seeing that connection sooner. Second of all, I just want to say, if I owned Adobe Reader, I don't want that. I don't want to own that.
If I had Safari,
one of the exploits, VirtualBox, dude, VirtualBox, I can just go download that for free. So I don't want it.
Corey, can you go pwn me an Xbox real quick?
Yes.
I understand the it makes sense. It makes sense. However, I don't want to take home VirtualBox, Adobe Reader, and Ubuntu. I want the Tesla.
Those are scores. At least you got something.
Just give me the Tesla.
I also don't want Windows 11.
Or a T-shirt.
Yeah,
I'm going to take Windows 11 home and put it straight in the garbage.
The Xbox example, it would be way less money to just go buy one of those suckers and spend all that time to find that zero.
It's true.
It's the clout, all right? It doesn't. This Xbox says pwn to own on it. All right?
Oh,
that's why
it's a
collector's
pwn to own
edition.
Yeah.
Luckily, other people on YouTube comments are saying that they also didn't see the whole pwn to own connection thing. So we're not the only stupid people in the world.
Oh,
Corey,
God.
you are the smartest dumb guy or the dumbest smart guy I know.
Well, I'm going to go hack Adobe Reader so I can get a license because it's not free.
There you go. Yes.
I've always wanted Adobe Reader just so bad. But yeah, I mean, I also would like to say the rewards are intense. I mean, they're blockchain bug bounty rewards, but they are, I mean, millions. I mean, like big money.
Yeah.
I guess being smart pays. I mean, that's too bad that I'm not smart enough to actually find 0 days, but someone is.
Yeah.
Or maybe just being persistent and like fuzzing a problem for like 8 hours, which is just hard.
So speaking of not being smart, Ferrari got breached.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia.
Ferrari does everything
guys.
They do like everything by hand already, right?
I was gonna say, what did they breach the espresso machine that was internet connected? Like,
dude, they have a website. All right, there is something there.
Do they?
Yeah,
lattes for everybody.
Yeah, you can buy one of their cars on the internet. You just have to use Bitcoin. Don't ask. Don't worry about it. Oh my gosh, the client communication is titled "Dear Ferrarista." Is that really what they? Is that really how they refer to their customers?
I guess.
Ferrarista.
Thank you, Troy Hunt, for giving us this letter.
A limited number of systems in RT environment, not the espresso machine.
Not the
names, addresses, email addresses. So basically, this is just rich people. They're going after.
They were just like, we're not paying the ransom, and they got your data. Sorry.
Don't worry, they all got LifeLock anyway.
I will say
they're fine.
The other fun thing about Ferrari, and I know this is true, they actually make more money from branding and merch sales than they do from their car division. So this database, like whoever hacked this database is like, yeah, I'm going to get all the rich people. But what they got was a bunch of Eastern European people that spent $20 on Ferrari one time, and that's it. So like, it's not just rich people that buy Ferrari stuff.
I one time got a phishing email from one of these like we'll call it premier like motorist companies, and I immediately wanted to try to figure out who I could report it to see if I could get free merch. I'm like, I want a hat real bad, and then no one ever. But
they're like, we don't care about cybersecurity.
No, they didn't. Sending me malware and stuff. How dare they?
You're not a Ferrarista.
Email.
Yeah, I guess it can happen to anyone.
What if you're a barista that drives a Ferrari?
Then you're a burfista? I don't know. However you
a Ferrari.
A Ferrari.
A Ferrari.
A Ferrari.
Then you stole it because baristas don't make that much.
No.
Yeah.
A Ferrari is what happens when you're driving a Ferrari in a really cold climate and you have to put the top down. And it's
Okay.
Wow. We've gone there.
one more. Who wants to do one more? 5 minutes. We got
One
The
more.
cure.
quick fire.
Scalpers.
Quick fire.
Did you do the Linus Tech tips one?
No, we kind of touched on it. Like, I will say that
We talked about it
video-
last time, didn't we? Like just that
No.
it happened.
He
It was on the CoinSec.
Oh, it was one second.
Oh.
Basically,
Yeah.
okay, so LTT was hacked. They were hacked via a screen, an interesting payload, which is basically a InfoStealer, which go read my blog if you don't know what an InfoStealer is. But basically, PDF, so zip file, PDF, but it's not a PDF. It just looks like a PDF. It's an executable format. They actually use an interesting executable format. It's like it's a Windows, let's see, what was it? It's like a screensaver format. So it's actually an interesting format.
SC
SCR.
something. Yeah.
SCR, yeah. So there's an SCR, which is an executable format. It was inflated. So it's 700 meg payload,
megs, yeah.
which is pretty cool because we do that for red
It's a
teams.
common
of course.
technique, yeah.
Common technique.
There was a
Basically-
vulnerability out for SCRs.
It was like .pdf .scr inflated to 700 megs, which means it probably won't be scanned by heuristics. Extensions are not displayed by default on Windows, so they didn't know it was an SCR. It looked like a PDF. They clicked it. They got compromised, didn't realize they were compromised. There is some unknown. We don't know whether it would have slipped past Defender. I can't possibly see it slipping past Defender, but maybe it was modified. Like, no one knows the actual sample that was, I don't know.
You really
We'll
think
see.
he has Defender? How many people does he have employed? Probably like 30.
100.
He has
There's
100.
no way he doesn't have Defender. Yeah.
Defender's free, dude.
It's literally
Yeah.
included. It's hard to not have
It's
it.
it's
Yes.
based-
Hey, no, you got okay.
You
So
tried to turn it off?
said no. It said his. Didn't it say one? It was one of his editors, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think he edits on Windows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
some crazy
I-
people do.
I didn't. Yeah,
It had to be
was-
Windows.
people
It
do
had
not-
an SCR,
Windows.
dude. Mac
It's
doesn't know what to do with
that's a good
SCRs.
point. That's a good point. I didn't think about.
No,
but
it was an SCR. It was Windows.
Yeah, it was
who
Windows.
edits on Windows in production?
It doesn't matter. Adobe works on both.
Dude, they use Adobe. They're an
Adobe
shop.
Final Cut Pro.
Yep. Well,
Dude,
either way.
That's the one thing I'll be an elitist Mac person on. Is
You act like
That's the
Adobe
only
isn't
thing.
the standard for like
Yeah.
every video editing shop. Anyway, basically, interesting hack, raised a lot of security awareness, and I thought their video explaining it was very
good, yeah.
it was
Why was he naked for so long?
well, would you
Well,
put on pants if your whole life was
It's
falling
your
apart?
house too. I can. If I
Who
don't look
has
up
that
there-
many video cameras in their house when you walk
He
around?
does,
naked?
obviously.
I would have been.
I felt bad for the editor.
The
People would-
FBI is probably going to come in and request those videos. You know?
Okay, here's who.
He
here's-
is Canadian.
Here's who has that many cameras. Someone who's, first of all, has 2 kids. Second of all, someone who's pretty like publicly noteworthy. So when some dude tries to break into their house, they can see it. And also, fun fact about the whole like blurring the guy's genitals. People were like, "Oh, we feel bad because someone had to blur out his genitals." But then someone told me, "Here's how they actually do it. He blurs the whole video first, and then he filters out like he centers he blurs the whole video first, then he like centers in on what he doesn't want to unblur." So
The
it's like
reverse.
that's so actually no one that was an
You have
editor
be
had to look at his
smarter
junk.
than the video. Got it.
God help.
That's
God
that's
help
going
the
the,
editor.
the long way around that one.
Yeah,
but okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Correct, but that's how you avoid
Wouldn't-
seeing
wouldn't
your
you?
boss's junk.
Yeah.
Either way.
You should see the videos Ryan has to blur out. They're
Oh
pretty crazy.
God.
Oh man.
Oh,
Editing.
God.
You should
is
see our other podcast, the Naked News podcast.
naked insecurity.
Poor
that
Ryan.
was a real thing. At
Yeah,
one
that's a
point.
real thing, right? Naked security.
Yeah.
What do you mean was?
Has
It's
to be
It's, I don't-
naked.
it's still going. I haven't heard about it
naked.
in like a
Yeah, it's
decade
been
plus.
kinda quiet.
So the end result of this was somebody executed. They got session tokens, which we talked about earlier, and
They
then
got cookies. Yeah.
got cookies, right? Session data.
And passwords, but they
And
didn't use the
passwords,
passwords because
yes.
they didn't have to.
And then, so the reason why it went on for so long is one, Linus didn't really know what was going on per se in the attack, but more importantly, there was a lot of things that he called out and that he messed up with. Maybe you could have caught him with the EDR, better security on the device. Maybe he could have, had better security controls inside of the YouTube, but then kind of falls back on Google because Google doesn't do, like, once you're on that thing, the expiring those sessions, there's no conditional access controls, privileged access, like posting a video. You can't decide who can do that and who can't. So there's a lot of, I mean, YouTube does.
There is no creator on the face of it. I think part of it is like, this is a site not really built. They didn't realize, but now there is a 100-person company that is dependent on this site for their revenue, for their primary stream of revenue.
That's
and
a
it
good
just
point.
wasn't built for that. Like,
how do we link Active Directory with our YouTube?
Oh God. So, okay. The other thing that like, there is no creator on the face of the planet that would be mad if their session token got invalidated when they tried to change their channel name. Just saying. Like, if I go to change my channel name and it says, "We don't think you're you, please verify," that just makes, like...
Is there like a log out of all sessions in YouTube?
I was wondering that. And they did say they changed... He also said he changed the passwords, by the way.
Which multiple times, but it never invalidated the session. If you change your credentials, it should invalidate all sessions.
All the sessions,
But that's where it gets into like credential management, where I don't know. Like, he mentioned, this is like, gets into really weird specifics, but he mentioned that they use some kind of additional add-on that does granular permissions in YouTube, and it's possible that that just creates a master session token, and that isn't possibly, like, I don't know the details of how that site works or how that app works, but like, it's possible that like the session token they stole was like the session token that was in the other app, so it doesn't get seen by YouTube. I don't know. But either way, YouTube, if you go to try to change your channel name, it should just invalidate all the sessions and say, why?
Or at
what are you
least
doing?
have the ability to enable that feature.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not that tough. I mean, there are a lot of sites where if I change my password, I have the ability to log out from all other sessions.
Yes.
But it's not a default. It's not an automatic.
Yeah.
It's
What's
not
the
norm.
okay?
I'll
play the devil's advocate. What's the return on investment on that?
Nothing.
Right? Like how
Zero. Nothing.
Zero. Like how many people are actually going to use? Like there's some big YouTubers, right? But how many YouTubers are there compared to how many would actually use it?
This is
okay, and YouTube has a long history of not really caring that much about what the creators
want.
History. So it's not really. It's like Twitter being like, "Hey, we're getting rid of the blue checkbox." Like, yeah, everyone expected that, right? So, but
the other thing besides YouTube, which definitely has security issues to blame, and it's not just Linus, but on Linus's side, having actual EDR, right? Like bringing in more advanced security products. Are they going to catch everything? No, right? But you definitely might get a chance at least some kind of telemetry, right? Some kind of data to let you know that.
Yeah, they were well aware. Like, I didn't tune into the whole thing, but like on the show, the live show, they were talking about like a bunch of people offered like, we do penetration testing, of course. Like, you know, we're not that we're talking to them, but like other security companies, I'm sure, are like, hey, we can help you. And they were kind of like, we appreciate that, but we need to like, it sounded like they really hadn't taken some of the basic steps, like, you know, implementing even, you know, so they didn't get into specifics of what they aren't and aren't doing, but like, it sounded like they really are more interested in like getting an EDR, basic permissions management, basic stuff like that. So
that's been like the theme of several of his videos, right? Like I know he had one where his raids all went out.
Yes.
They didn't have backups, and they had other ones where servers went out. So it's just
It's
like a
kind of
regular
funny,
company
though.
everywhere. Nobody upgrades until it's too late.
Correct. Yeah.
The CIA model applies to everybody. Okay, like everybody.
It's funny because it's weirdly, in a weird way, rewarding for them to make content about how screwed they are. Like it kind of, it's like it almost is. It almost is like a revenue stream, like screwing yourself over and making funny videos about it. Like you could build this into your business plan and say, we got hacked. And like that video is going to get like a bajillion views, right? So,
it's like causing drama between YouTubers. They both get a lot more views for it. So
yeah. It's like that, but
hacked,
not as bad as that. It's not as bad, but like it's similar. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's to that level of like clout chasing, but it's like, negative publicity, self-publicity. That's a great comment. Yeah. So, it's a doozy, but it won't be the first. It hasn't been the first time.
It hasn't been the first time, yeah.
And it won't be the last. Like these InfoStealer malware are there to stay. These are it steals your cookies, it's going to be a good attack that sticks around for a long time because it works. So,
Yep.
all right, I think we're good to call it.
Yeah, I
Thanks
think
everyone
that
for
was
joining. Have a great
everything.
week. Watch out for the news next week. We're going to be actually I'm not going to be here next week. So
What?
You're
Where are you
not.
gonna be?
What?
I'm going
What?
skiing. I'm out. I'm done.
He's not even bringing his
What?
cell
You're,
phone.
you're
He's
gonna
leaving
be.
his
You're
cell
gonna go analog.
I'm gonna go analog. I'm not taking my phone. I'm going to another country that's definitely not Canada, and I'm not gonna be around. So
Okay.
good luck with the news.
All right,
It'll be
we'll
much
call
better
him
next
out.
week.
Oh,
We'll miss
I
you
don't-
next week, Corey.
All right, roll.
definitely. Okay, kill it.
Kill it with
Killing
fire.
it.
I thought Ryan killed it like